Oh. Man goes in a pub. Landlord says, "Whose are these mangoes?" Man goes in a pub. Tropical humour there for you. Yeah, Happy New Year! That's exciting, isn't it? Yeah, everyone have a good Christmas?
Yes!
Oh, I love Christmas. I love Christmas so much. My favourite thing about Christmas is the moment just before we're about to travel down to the family home. You know, getting everything ready, getting everything packed, going up into the attic, finding myself a suitcase, bringing it down, opening it up, taking out all the presents from last year, and then putting in the presents to my family for this year. Ah, consumerism, you pointless waste of bastard. Really shouldn't have had that much wine before coming on stage. Probably it's a bit more succinct than this. I was thinking seriously about my New Year's resolution this year. I thought normally I don't really think about it. I thought we're going to actually properly think about this, give it some real thought. You know, instead of doing something self-centered, like changing myself in some way, I thought, why don't I be more socially minded? Think of something I can get involved with to help society. I thought, what is it I care about? What is it I actually have a strong opinion about? And it's about waste, ladies and gentlemen. Waste. This society is so wasteful, it's ridiculous. You know, we've all heard the mantra, reduce, reuse, recycle. And we hear a lot about recycle, we hear a little bit about reuse. We hardly hear anything about reduce, you know. It should be the other way around. It's a priority list, you know. For example, in Germany, you buy bottles of beer in a plastic crate. When you finish with them, you put the empties back in the plastic crate. You take them back, they wash them, they refill them with beer. Makes sense, simple system. You know, I'm in my kitchen at home, looking at the recycle bin, I see empty bottles of wine, empty bottles of beer, empty bottles of bleach, empty bottles of whiskey, and I think, oh my God, I drink too much. So I'm going to cut down on drinking. That's actually my New Year's resolution, because it gets me into trouble, the drinking. It really does, as you've already seen this evening. But yeah, it gets me into trouble. For example, a few weeks ago, I've been drinking all night in my favourite bar, and I thought, well, I've had enough now. I've had enough, I'm going to go home. But I thought on the way home, I'm going to stop up at the petrol station and buy myself some tobacco. And I walked into the shop, and I was presented with this scene, immediately, of a white customer dishing out some race hate to the brown cashier. And my fearless, drunken mind didn't hesitate. I snapped into action. I found myself going up to the customer, grabbing him by his shoulder and pushing him back, going, "Get the fuck out the shop! Get the fuck out the shop!" This really isn't like me, you know. It's the booze which did this. He could have hit me in the face, but he didn't. He left the shop. And with amazement, I walked up to the counter, wondering about what I'd just done. I looked at the cashier, and he was looking at me with thankful eyes. Well, I didn't want to be hailed as a hero that day, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to go home and go to sleep. You know, I just wanted to say to him, I'm just going to buy some tobacco and then I'm going to go home. But with my drunken, short mind, it came out as, "Backy, go home." He looked at me differently after. You know, yeah, it gets me into trouble. Gets me into trouble for drinking. But yeah, 2011, very eventful year. Very eventful year. A lot of fascinating things happening in the news, and you know, for example, the hacking scandal. It's pretty horrible, isn't it? I mean, I'll tell you what, I do take one positive thing out of the hacking scandal. It was a reminder that there was a good reason that Millie didn't return my calls. The reason I had a smirk on my face there was that was you. I was very worried about doing that. But, and I was right to be. Anyway, would you, it's a new year, who wants to hear a song? 2012, Olympic time, 2012, which day will the terrorists choose? Who knows, that song there about the inevitable terrorist attacks of the London 2012 Olympics. We're all looking forward to that, but of course, it's all about sustainability, the Olympics. If there is a terrorist attack, then the athletes can just shift over to the Paralympics. Reduce, recycle. Yeah, I'm interested in many things. For example, history. find history very interesting. You know, Henry VIII, he famously had 6 wives, and the way we remember their fates in chronological order is divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived. And what I always find so interesting about that is that Catherine Parr is still alive. After all this time. Another thing I find interesting, geography and how the various places, how the various places around the world get their names. For example, the Arctic. The Arctic is so called after the Greek word arctos, meaning bear. Because when they went there, they found bears there. And similarly, the Antarctic is so called because when they went there, they found no bears. Antarctic, no bears. But the Antarctic was discovered first. Yeah, another thing I find interesting is rats. Any rat fans? In the audience? Yeah. It's always one. In London, it's quite interesting. In London, you're never more than 10 metres away from cliché. That's interesting, isn't it? But yeah, I've got a rat fact. They did some research about comparing the way that rats think and the way that humans think. And what they did is they have a bag of balls. They're 2 times as many red balls as black balls. So that's 2/3 red balls, 1/3 black balls. And they were picking them out at random and asking a human to guess the colour of the next ball. And they did this over a number of humans, over a number of balls. And they found that on average, a human will pick red 2/3 of the time and black 1/3 of the time. Makes sense. Yeah? You present the same challenge to a rat, and it just looks bemused. different priorities with the rats and the humans. But anyway, I'm probably running out of time, so do you want to hear one more song?
Yeah!
Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Who likes love?
Yeah.
Who likes songs? Something for everyone. Can't believe that it's all over. I just love you so. Oh, such a whore. Such a horrible situation. I can't sleep at night. Sleep at night. A date rape. A day draped in your arms is like heaven to me. Heaven to me. Retard. Retired of each other. Now my happiness gone. Penis gone. Fuck getting you is the hardest thing that I'll ever do. Penis gone. A cum rag. Finding out that you were Welsh when you said comrade. Was it home? Oh, it's comrade, isn't it? It's the language, not the doesn't really work at the end. Anyway, I've been Jonathan Hearn. Thank you very much. And now, welcome to the stage, the fabulous Leah Emery.
We're going to be friends. Oh, I know you. Yeah. So disappointed. Okay, we're friends with him. Great tonight. No, absolutely not. I'm American. Sorry.